Hare Krishna.
Die Texte wird da auf Englisch sein, ne? Auf Englisch.
Genau, auf Englisch.
Ich kann ins Deutsche übersetzen, wenn das jemand braucht.
Ja, sicher.
Ins Schweizerdeutsch aber nicht, ne?
Aber bayerisch geht's, bayerisch. Hare Krishna. Oh, danke. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Kommt doch gerne noch ein bisschen vor. Hare Krishna. Traut euch. Wir sind ein Team. Wir singen jetzt noch Jaya Radha Madhava. Und dann geht's los.
Alexei. Yashodanandana, Radhadana, Ranjana. Yashodanandana, Radhadana, Ranjana. Yashodanandana, Radhadana, Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Krishna
Krishna, the guests, the devotees. Today we want to read from the Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, verse number 4. Bhagavad Gita, 14 Kapitel. Oh, brauchen wir Übersetzung auf Russisch? Das ist die Frage. Kann jemand auf Russisch übersetzen? Oder braucht jemand? Ich kann nicht Russisch sprechen, ich kann nicht Ansagen machen. Oh, warte, wenn jemand braucht, ich weiß nicht, braucht. Kannst du?
Ja, dann brauchen wir welche.
Okay, wenn du. Was ihr wollt. Okay, dann wir lesen auf, we are reading from 14th chapter, verse number 4. Wer versteht nur Deutsch, kein Englisch? Keine. 2. Aber es gibt eine russische Übersetzung. Nicht der Saki. Du übersetzt auf Russisch? Okay, lass es dann. Wir reden auf 14. Kapitel. Sarva Yonishu. So. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Murtaya Sambhavantiya. Murtaya Sambhavantiya. Tasam Brahma Mahadyonir. Tasam Brahma Mahadyonir. Aham Bija Pradapitaha. Aham Bija Pradapitaha. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Murtaya Sambhavantiya. Tasam Brahma Mahadyoni. Aham Bija Pradapita. Sarva Yonishu. In all species of life. Kaunteya. O son of Kunti, Murtayaha, forms, Sambhavanti, they appear, Yaha, which, Tasam, all of them, Brahma, the Supreme, Mahatyoni, source of birth in the material substance, Aham, I. Bija Pradaha, the seed giving. Pita, father. So this is a very famous, of course Bhagavad Gita has many famous verses. There's so many famous verses in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore the advice is to learn Bhagavad Gita by heart. So we're a little bit late, those who are a little older, but at least children can learn Bhagavad Gita, at least a couple of chapters. So the translation goes as follows. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature. So all the species of life are there by birth, meaning there's not like somebody just appears. The appearance is meant for incarnations of Krishna, for avatar. Avatar can appear, but the rest are all giving birth. We all have fathers, mothers, and so on. Even the insects, they have parents. And Krishna says, and I am the seed-giving father. The Krishna, aham bija prada pita. Pita. The Krishna is actually pita, for father for all living entities. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, das ist auf Deutsch, is the original father of all living entities. The living entities are combinations of the material nature and the spiritual nature. Such living entities are seen not only on this planet, but on every planet. Even on the highest where Brahma is situated. Everywhere there are living entities. Within the earth there are living entities, even within water and within fire. All these appearances are due to the mother, material nature, and Krishna's seed-giving process. The purport is that the material world is impregnated with living entities who come out in various forms at the time of creation according to their past deeds. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Sarva Yonishu Kantaya Murtaya Sambhavantaya Tasam Brahma Mahadyonir Aham Bija Pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Krishna here speaks to Arjuna. Krishna, oh, wir haben diese Gerät, das ist wunderbar. So, lass uns ein paar Sekunden warten. Jeder kriegt eine Kopfhörer. So, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada explains here that all living entities, Krishna is the original father of all living entities. So this is important. The reason why I'm speaking this today, because I was watching some discussion, debate. I was watching a debate, is meat a murder? When someone eats meat, is this a murder or not murder? So there was a big discussion, it's a university. Cambridge. Is this a murdering or not murdering? And then one party who says this murdering make the point that we are taking the life of a sentient being. Sentient beings means of a living entity. We take the life, so therefore we are murderer, or we are murdering this living entity. Another party which says it is not murder is considered that we are superior beings, and therefore as superior beings we have right to eat whatever we like to eat, and animals inferior, therefore we have rights to kill them. You know, they're all against of course big industry, the factories where they keep the cows or other animals just for meat, and you know, kill them in the most possible terrible way, but they don't agree in this point. They said we have rights to eat them, we are, you know, they're meant there for our consumption, so therefore we have rights to kill them. So this is this big debate. But what they all are missing is one thing, and this one thing is Krishna. Both of the sides are missing Krishna. So Prabhupada says here that Krishna is the original father of all living entities. The living entities are combinations of the material nature and the spiritual nature. So this is the you can say the beginning of our discussion, that vegetarianism in itself is nice, or veganism is very nice idea, we don't kill, but this is not in itself, doesn't make one perfect. As Prabhupada in the conversation, even 1971, one devotee was not a devotee at that time, but he started visiting temple. And Prabhupada was there, and he came to Prabhupada and he said he was very proud, and he said, Swamiji, after I met you, I became a vegetarian. And Prabhupada says, okay, so the pigeons and monkeys are also vegetarians. And they're big rascals. You know, in India, monkeys, bandar, always problem. I don't know if from North India, where you're from, but you're from North India? South. But bandar is a Hindi word.
Yeah.
Bandar, you know. Always big problem. If you go to Vrindavan nowadays, before monkeys were stealing glasses, you know, they steal glasses, but now they're very smart, they steal mobile phones. They know there's a bigger value, you know. And then, but this is really, I was there last summer, and they steal the mobile phones, and they're standing there waving mobiles. So if you want to get mobile phone, you have to give them something. Before, many years ago, they accepted banana, but now no banana. Now there's some special juice. They have put a straw and drink a juice. So they want only juice. They know, bandar, you know, rascal. You know, this is rascal. So Prabhupada says here, monkeys are also vegetarians, but they are still big rascals. So this is a little difference there. Difference is that our vegetarianism is first of all meant for a purpose. There's a purpose behind it, but this purpose is much deeper than other purposes. For example, in Ayurveda, I remember I was reading the Charaka Samhita. Charaka Samhita is a book for all the Ayurvedic. This is like a classic book for Ayurvedic doctors. So the first many pages is a philosophy, creation of the universe, and you know, material elements, dravyas, they call them dravya, you know, bhumi rapo nalo vayu kammano buddhi revacha. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, the different substances, water, earth, air, you know, ether. So these are all the substances of the living entities are made. So for the doctor to understand how the body works, he has to understand the whole material universe behind it. Then it's easier. So in the same way, to be a vegetarian, we have to understand the whole material universe and beyond it. And therefore the Hare Krishna devotees are vegetarians. We are not vegans, we are vegetarians. And we are not vegans for reason. For reason is that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, lives in a place called Goloka Vrindavan. Go is a cow. So he lives on the planet of the cows. So how can Krishna, who lives on the planet of the cows, we see here pictures with the cows, and back there Krishna is a Gopal. Gopal means one who herd the cows, who is caring for taking care of the cows. He cannot be vegan because there's so much milk. If anybody has had a few cows who give milk, that you have so much paneer or whatever that you don't know what to do with it. We just recently went to one farm in Bulgaria. The devotees had 36 cows, 2 brothers. So much work, but their milk, I think there's 7 or 8 milk cows. So this is an overwhelming amount of butter or yogurt and all kinds of, you know, buttermilk, because they make yogurt, they make butter. So we couldn't drink water because there's so much milk products to drink. So this is actually these cows are not, you know, in any way abused. They are devotees. Devotees are taking care of the cows. So therefore, and Krishna advises, he likes butter. Krishna is known as Makanchor. Makanchor means one who steals the butter. I don't know if you have a picture here. No. The Krishna, as a very young boy, child, he steals the butter. So he's not a vegan. Krishna is, like the butter. And butter, if you have eaten butter from the real cows who are milked and who are, grazing happily outside, and if you eat this butter, you can it's very sweet. Like you can eat the butter without anything. And Krishna does this. He eats just butter like this. Of course, Krishna is doing some other mischievous things. This is another story. But Krishna is known as Makanchor, Makanlal. So, So Prabhupada says here, therefore, simply to become vegetarian is not the last word. There are many vegetarians, but we want to ultimately become devotees of God, devotees of Krishna. So Prabhupada says here, Yatma suprasidati, ahaitukya pratihata, Yatma suprasidati. So if we want to become, have a relationship with God, with Krishna, we do these things as a side, you can say side effects or side activities, and vegetarianism is one of them. But why? Because we understand that all living entities, actually, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, He is the seed-giving Father, but also all living entities in this material world are actually not the bodies. They're actually the soul within this living entity. And Prabhupada explains here, how is it that that living entity, where is it? Prabhupada says here, this is a scientific proof, because he argued with one priest. This priest was saying, no, animals are meant for us to eat them. They don't have soul. Animals actually don't have a soul. They're like a machine. Machine is walking, so you just no harm in killing, destroying machines. So you destroy the animal so you can eat. So Prabhupada explains, no, this is not possible. And he says, this is the scientific proof. The animal is eating, you are eating. Animal is sleeping, you are sleeping. The animal is defending, you are defending. The animal is having sex, you are having sex. The animals have children, you have children. They have a living place, you have a living place. So if you cut animal's body, there's blood. If you cut your body, there's blood. So these similarities are there for a reason, Prabhupada says. So how can you deny that they are different? How can you deny? Nowadays it's very popular to have a dog, unfortunately. Before people had cows or had at least a goat, goat gives milk at least, but nowadays people have dogs as pets. Completely, I don't want to say useless, but useless animal. Of course in the Vedic society it's not even touchable. But of course in India, I don't know, nowadays more and more people having dogs as a pet. And then when dog, you go to work and you come back and dog is waiting for you at the window. Oh, my master is coming, wagging the tail. And you open the door and he's jumping. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. And then we say, no, animals they don't have soul. They're actually not the real thing. So this is what Prabhupada explains. No, animals are also living entities. They just have more covered. They're more covered. Their soul is more covered over. Like you have a degree of, for example, some people are very intelligent. Not everybody is equally intelligent in this material world. I don't know. Some people are super intelligent, some people are less intelligent, some people even less. Some people are very, very stupid. Very stupid. So there's a different degrees of intelligence. So in the same way, there's different degrees of covering of the soul. So we have this developed, we can think about higher things, we can read, Bhagavad Gita. Dog cannot read Bhagavad Gita. You give him Bhagavad Gita, he will just, no, this is nothing to eat here. Nothing to eat. There's a dog. I want to speak of snake, snake cannot not see anything, or lizard. So different degrees of covering. We are a little less covered, and then we have animals who are more covered. For example, even dog is, for example, more intelligent, or elephant is very intelligent. It is described, the elephant can remember many years. If you do something wrong to the elephant remembers 20, 30 years. And they meet you and they say, you hit me 20 years ago. There's stories, isn't it? And the elephant stamples on this person. He remembers 20 years after. This is something serious. We had this one story. Just recently we were on one farm in Czech Republic. And we were going and we saw a little cat. There's a little cat like this. Very new cat, little baby cat. And this cat started following us. He said, no, stay home because we are going to the farm, because we are staying in one place which is almost like 1 kilometer away from this place where this cat was there. I said, no, stay home. And then another cat came, and they also came and started following us. He said, why do they follow us? What if we bring them somewhere else, they will be lost and they will die. And they did not want to leave, they followed us. So we said, okay, we bring them back anyways. So we walked to this all the way 1 kilometer to this farm, and we were there for some time, and then we were going back, and cat followed us back. And he said, what happened? So then we went back, cat followed us all the way to the first place where he came from. And then one woman came out of the house, and she said, oh, I was wondering what happened to my cats. And we explained the story. She said, because these 2 cats were born on this farm. So they went to see their family. They took us, used us to follow us. They knew that we are going to the farm. They visited their family and they came back. We were like amazed. How can animal have such an intelligence? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So animals have intelligence just a little covered over more than us. And in the same way, there's the lower animals have less they're more covered with material energy. Like birds or whatever, some other, worms. There's also living entity, just very much covered. And on the end, these are moving, but there's also non-moving living entities. And non-moving living entities are trees. They're growing, and you can cut them, right there, heart, I love this woman, whatever. And they'll just stand there, because they're very covered over. But this is the same soul. Actually, it is described in Bhagavatam, who becomes tree in the next life. In this life, you like to be naked in public. There are people who like to be naked in public, striptease, whatever. And next life, these naked people, they become trees. So you can stand naked for hundreds of years. Krishna fulfills your desire. You want to be naked? Here it is. You can be naked. And also, Srila Prabhupada says, if you like to eat raw flesh, some people just, they like uncooked schnitzel, with blood. Some people like this, they eat. And Prabhupada says, then you become a tiger next life. You can fulfill your desire to eat raw flesh all your life. So, meaning that all these animals actually have consciousness. So this is the point here. In the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter, 5th verse, Prabhupada says, sometimes the question is put before us, you ask us not to eat meat, but you eating vegetables. Do you think that this is also non-violence, vegetables? Because vegetable is also a living entity, like a carrot, for example. You take the carrot, this is also a living entity, carrot. It's just covered over. So Prabhupada gives the example of the verse called Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. That in this material world, everybody has to kill something. So people who claim I'm non-violent, this is not possible in the material world. We step daily on so many insects. When you drive a car in summertime, all your windshield is full with different insects where we kill. We kill so many living entities, unwillingly, but we do kill. How many times you walk through a forest and you inhale some insect or mosquito and you think, oh, what happened? Or just sometimes you feel itching and you just want to scratch and then I just killed a mosquito. You didn't intentionally do this, but sometimes you do. And to eat something, for example, if you say, okay, I'm only vegan, I'm vegetarian, I'm vegan, I don't eat any. So to eat grains, you have to cut these grains, actually, the wheat. This is also a living entity in the wheat. So each of these wheat is a one living entity, so you kill much, much more to get one piece of bread. But the difference is that this is in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Pastram pushpam phalam thoyam yome bhakta prayachati. That this Krishna, he says, if one offers me with love and devotion this particular thing, vegetarian food, patram pushpam, one's flower, then I will accept it and this will not be a sinful activity. So therefore, Krishna devotees, as Prabhupada says, we are not vegetarians, we are prasadarians. We eat prasadam. Prasad, Krishna prasad. And therefore, when we eat Krishna prasad, means we offer food to Krishna. We don't just go to the store, we buy it, and we just, before we come home, already we open in the package and we just eat it. But with devotees, it's a little bit more complicated. Even if we buy it, we come back, we put on the altar, we offer to Krishna. My dear Lord Krishna, please accept this, what I cook, And then it becomes prasadam. There's some, so how to eat prasadam? This is also a question. Prasadam has to be eaten. First of all, we have to cook prasadam in a certain consciousness. And there are different mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And these are three modes of the material nature. So it is said in the Bhagavad Gita that one should not eat food in the mode of ignorance. The mode of ignorance food is which cooked many long time ago. Nowadays, mostly in the shops, you find things which are cooked many months ago, and which are stale, which are putrefied. There's this example. I don't want to even. This is not a good example. It's gruesome. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gives example how people actually enjoy this kind of food, which is completely petrified. So we don't do this putrefied. Food in the mode of goodness is food which actually cooked, which are nourishing, and food which is prolongs one life and gives happiness. And sometimes in our temples, devotees eat prasadam, and they feel so happy that they start laughing uncontrollably. when the kirtan is very nice and prasadam is very nice. So we eat Krishna prasadam, we are prasadarians. This is the difference. So therefore, patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakti prayachati. We have to offer this food with love and devotion. Again, when devotees, we have a very high standard of actually cleanliness. This is very important for cooking prasadam. We don't just, dirty or our clothes. When we go to cook for the deities in the temple, devotees take showers and take fresh clothes. We had once in Simhachalam, on our temple, the sanitary inspection came to check out our kitchen. Is it clean enough? And then he asked, so are you washing your hands before you enter the kitchen? We were laughing. This is a low standard for us, washing hands. We take shower and we take new clothes. And he was like shocked. He said, I've never heard of such high standards in my life. Nobody does this. I said, yes, we do this. Because why? We are cooking for the Lord. And not only our cleanliness, we have to be externally clean. We have to have a good consciousness. Means that's what we wake up in the morning, we chant Hare Krishna, we do service, and then when we in proper consciousness cooking the food for the Lord, because consciousness is very important. There was a story. We were once some years ago. We were in one German city, and there was a story of one restaurant. There was a vegan restaurant. And in this restaurant, after some time, the people who were visiting the restaurant regularly start having some problems with the digestion, and some of them even become a little bit mentally disturbed. So they were wondering what happened, So they came out together and they said, yeah, we all actually eat in this restaurant regularly. So they went to the restaurant manager. Restaurant manager said, yes, this is true. We have a cook who had some suicidal thoughts. He was very suicidal. Suicidal? Wants to kill himself. So cook was thinking about killing himself while cooking. And so people who ate this food, they also get a little sick, and they also didn't do well. So then, of course, the cook is, they can leave a little bit, they can break from the cooking. But the point is here that our consciousness also influences the food we eat. So it is important in what consciousness are we cooking. So therefore, devotees of the Lord, they cook with the consciousness, I want to please the Lord. In South India, some South Indian Brahmanas, they don't eat anything which they're not cooking themselves. Some of them don't even eat from their wives' cooking. They just eat what they cook, the very strict Brahmanas. So this is like a high High level, yes. I have a consciousness. This is my good consciousness. And I cook for the Lord. This is a very, very, high level, of course. So therefore, the Hare Krishna devotees, we don't eat unnecessarily in the restaurants, because in the restaurants we don't know who cooked this food and what do they put in this food. Because nowadays everything is polluted somehow or other. The ingredients are polluted. Even the sauces they put, there's always some kind of meat ingredients in it. We were traveling, and I thought, we're a little bit hungry, let's buy some peanuts. Mungfali. Let's buy some peanuts. So I bought some peanuts. I was just about to eat, and I said, let me just take a look at the ingredients. I don't know why, peanuts. And I looked at, there's a meat powder mixed with peanuts. I was shocked. Why would anybody mix meat powder with peanuts? So we just throw it. So we have to be considerate, all these things. Because the reason is this: we want to actually love Krishna, we want to serve Krishna, and we do not want to create unnecessary violence to other living entities. And Prabhupada explains here, the reason for this is that all these animals which have been killed actually have their own karma. You have to understand the law of karma. Like we have our own karma. I have no hair, whatever, because this is my karma. Some people in their 70 years old, they have a bush on their, it's a karma, or my tooth is, whatever. We have different karmas. So animals also have their karma. They have to suffer and enjoy this material world as much as their karma is allotted. So if we actually kill the animal, then we're stopping this karma, their cycle of karma. And therefore we are punishable for this act. And the poor animal has to be born again in this form. So we are making disturbance by doing this. And this is one of the reasons why we do not eat meat. Because we don't interfere with other living entities' karma. So therefore, this is a little bit debatable with mosquitoes, because mosquito is attacking you. According to Shastra, if someone is attacking you, you have right to defend yourself. So, but usually we don't kill them. We try to not kill mosquitoes. And for example, once Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, was eating lunch, and there were some ants, immediately, came to eat. They climbed into his plate, and his servant saw this, and he said, "Oh, take these ants immediately." And Prabhupada says, don't bother. They don't eat much. Ants, how much ant can eat my sabji? Not much. So. This is the point, sometimes, it's like this, but we said, okay, they don't eat much, or what to do. Meaning it's not the end of the world. If you see a spider! We had this lecture of Bhakti Vikas Swami, and he listed the main phobias, 100 main phobias. Phobia means fears people have in the material world. Number one fear is the fear of spiders. People are somehow fearful of, I don't know why, spiders, okay, they can bite, but even if they bite, you just get like a little swollen, and that's about it, But people have fear, and sometimes people see a spider, they kill the spider. So if you kill the spider, you actually interfere with the spider's journey through different species of life. Described in the Shastras, 8,400,000 different species of life. So when we kill spider, we actually stop this spider's progression. So this spider has to be born again. And this may mean that everything has to be rearranged. The management for this spider's life has to be rearranged. But we are responsible for this spider's death. So therefore, we try to commit as little violence as possible. It's not possible completely, but as little as possible. In India, there's this religion called Jainism. And in Jainism, they are very, very strict about these things. There's some even people who have this little cloth on their mouth to don't breed insects, because you breed insects, you like it or not, especially in India, so many insects in the forest. So they have a cloth not to breed. And they are looking, when they are walking, not to step on any ants or anything. So it takes a long time to walk like this. In this case, there's a one very nice story from the Srimad Bhagavatam explaining one great sage called Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat. This is actually Bharat Maharaj. It is described who in next life he became a deer, and in his third incarnation he became Jada Bharat. So Jada Bharat understood, okay, I want to go back to Godhead and I don't want to be interfered with the material world at all. And Jada means, in Sanskrit, Jada means numb or dull, just like a stone. This is what Jada means. And this is called popularly Jada Yoga. You just like pretend that this nothing interests you, and you just pretend that you are dumb. So this is what Jada Bharat did. He was always absorbed in the service of Krishna in his mind and his heart, but externally he was completely not participating with the material world events. And then once he was sitting in the field like this, he didn't take much shower or didn't take care of his outlook. How does he look? So they were carrying a king. They were carrying one king. His name was Rahugana. And then somehow or other, one of the carriers couldn't continue anymore, so they needed another person to carry the palanquin of a king. At that time, kings did not have, cars, Rolls Royces, or whatever they have. They were carrying in a palanquin. So they said, look for another person, somebody who's young and strong. So they saw in the fields Jada Bharat, and they brought him there, and they took him to carry the palanquin. But Jada Bharat was a great devotee of Krishna, so he was thinking, I don't want to commit any violence. So he was walking and he was looking at the ants. And then he was, there's an ant here. He jumped a little bit here. Then he stopped a little bit here. So this is like creating some kind of jerking to the palanquin. The king became upset. So who is this that does this? And they said, no, they're all afraid, of course, of king at that time. He did it. So the king chastised Jada Bharat. Who do you think you are? You're stupid, you are this and that. Very heavy chastisement. And Jada Bharat became awakened from his trance in meditating on Krishna, and he starts speaking very, very big philosophy to the king. And he says, you think you are actually a king, but you are just an illusion. Because all you are made of material elements. And this your palanquin is also made of material elements. And this wood, what I hold, is also made of material elements. So in that sense, everything is just, if you just deconstruct what is material body made of, what is the earth made of, air, everything is made of material elements. So we are just material elements. So you think that you're a king, you are just an illusion. And the king was like shocked, such a big philosophy. And he realized this is actually a great saint. So he jumped off the palanquin and offered obeisance to Jada Bharat. Of course, at that time, kings were also they had some more illumination and knowledge of the Shastra. Nowadays, I don't think many have. Maybe, of course, in India, naturally, Modi, whatever the other leaders, they're probably reading some Shastras. But in the West, people don't know what Shastras are. Of course, nowadays we have a Indian Prime Minister in England, and a candidate of Vivek Ramaswamy in America, candidate for the President of the United States. So I'm sure he also read some Shastras. But the point here is that the king understood this is a great saintly person. So he asked him more questions about this, and Jada Bharat explained to him, and he told him, although we are all material elements, that does not mean that you have no responsibility. So this is the very unique point. We know philosophically what is right, what is not right, and we know that this is actually, all the thing has no meaning. There's a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita that says that if I say that this is good or this is bad, this is all wrong, because everything in the material world is bad. Because it's all material world, material elements. We have nothing to do with material elements. But still, although we know this, we are not impersonalists. We also, as Jada Bharat instructor Hugana, he said, although we are all material elements, still you are creating pain to these people who carry you. And therefore you get the karma for this. So this is a very interesting point to understand, philosophical point. that we, as devotees of Krishna, we don't, commit unnecessary violence. We, as little as possible, carrots, we pray to carrots, sorry, and we offer to pray carrots to Krishna. And therefore we somehow excuse ourselves from the violence. But we understand philosophically that this carrot is not a carrot. I am not, this body. As Krishna and Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains to Arjuna, you think that if you kill all these enemies on the Kaurava side, that you are killing the soldiers, but actually this is not true. This is all material elements. Neither the soul cannot be killed. You cannot kill their souls. The soul cannot be, Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, explains the soul cannot be cut. The soul cannot be, withered with the wind, with the water. It cannot be destroyed in any way. So you think you're killing them, you are actually an illusion. But at the same time, you should keep on fighting and kill them. So this is a very interesting, you could say, paradoxical philosophy of the Krishna consciousness. That we have these two sides. One side is that we know philosophically that this material world is all wrong, but at the same time we have to live in this material world and do something here. For the beginning we have to eat. We have to eat. Who can say I don't want to eat now anymore? Of course you can fast up to 40 days, I think, only on water. Some Christian monasteries, they do this. One monastery, they fast 3 times 40 days a year. That's some heavy monks. So you can survive with very little, but still you have to you have to drink water. And in water itself, there's amoebas. So we kill amoebas while we drink water. So anyways, so this is the point. We have to understand philosophy and at the same time act in such a way that we know that I'm living in the material world and I have to live. I have to earn money. For this I have to drive car. I have to run sometimes over a frog, whatever, on the street. This is unfortunate circumstance. But at the same time, I know if this is philosophically, I act appropriately, then this will be all, you can say, excused. Because in the material world, the world is made like this, that we have to commit violence. So I thank you very much for your attention. Would you have to have any question, maybe? Or any kind of discussion? This Moritz, please.
You said that was the third life of Bharat Maharaj. Can you explain a little bit more about the story before?
The story before?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
Just
to explain what is the third life?
No, I'm just interested.
Okay. So the first story, he was a Bharat Maharaj. India is called Bharat also. We know Bharat because Bharat Maharaj was a very famous king, very pious king, and he made India prosperous. I mean India, what we know now as India. India is, anyways, but Bharat, this is the proper word. Haribol. The Bharat is the proper word. And this is, the Bharat is named by the king Bharat Maharaj. And Bharat Maharaj was very, very pious king, and he did many wonderful things. And he followed the Shastra again. He ruled the kingdom according to the Shastra, according to the scriptures. And according to the scriptures, when a person comes to the age of 55, 60 years of age, this is the time that one should go to the forest. It's called Vana Prastha. Vana goes to the forest. If you're from Bengal, it's Bon. Anybody from Bengal? Bon. No, you're from Nepal. You're from Bengal? Bon, isn't it? Bona. Bona.
My grandfather comes from Bengal.
Yeah, okay. In Sanskrit, it's called Vana. Vana Prastha. So, and then Bharat Maharaj did this. He said, okay, and whatever your age, he divided to his kingdom, to his children, sons, to rule different places. And he said, now I'm going to pursue my spiritual life. Because we do have all our duties in our lives, but the time has come when we are 50, 60 years old, that we have to, okay, now this is the duties of material life, now I have a duty to actually pursue my spiritual life. So he went to the forest. And then when he went to the forest, he lived in the ashram, Pulaha ashram, Pulasti ashram. And he was living there in the mountains, in the Himalayas. And he was doing all these austerities, and to live in the ashram in the mountains, I guess is not so easy. I never did. But nowadays, of course, there's no forest. Police will come to arrest you. There's no forest nowadays. Then you have to pay the tax, whatever. We have some problems if you want to go to the forest. But at that time, he was living in the ashram, and he was doing meditation and spiritual practices every morning. Taking bath in the freezing cold river, and so on and so forth, doing meditation. And then once he was sitting and meditating, and then he heard some disturbance. And he looked at, there was a lion on the other side of the river. A lion was roaring. And he was looking, there was a deer, the female deer. And the lion was attacking the deer. And the problem was the deer was pregnant. And lion wanted to eat the deer, and deer didn't know what to do. Out of fear, deer jumped into the water. And the river was very strong. The current was very strong. And the deer, out of fear and out of all this stress, jumped into the water, gave birth to a baby deer. And the deer died. The big deer died. So the little baby deer was laying in the water, trying to somehow survive, little baby deer. And we know the baby animals are very, very cute. If you see little baby deer, you'll say, oh, this is a very cute animal. So Bharat Maharaj has a Kshatriya nature. Kshatriya nature means to protect. So he was thinking, I cannot just let this baby deer die. I mean, would you? If you see water, baby deer, no, everybody would go and take the baby deer. So he went and he took the baby deer. So baby deer thought, oh, this is my mother, or whatever the baby deer was thinking in his mind. And he just took shelter of Bharat Maharaj. So he was like hiding there and getting warm. And so Bharat Maharaj slowly in time became very affectionate to this deer. So this deer, little deer would, push him a little bit. And sometimes, they said, Bharat Maharaj would sit and meditate in the morning, and the deer would come in with his little horns and playing games with him, biting him a little bit in the hand. And he would think, oh, how cute this deer is. And instead of meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he started thinking about the deer. So he became so affectionate to this deer that he started even neglecting his meditation. And so much so that he was just constantly start thinking about deer 24 hours a day. Where is deer now? That time they didn't have cages. Nowadays we put the animal in the cage to make sure. So deer would walk away somewhere in the forest and come back, and he would wonder, oh, is any animal going to, wolf, we're going to come and eat my deer? So he started meditating on deer all the time. So what happened is the time for him to die has arrived. This is a very interesting point, because we never know when is the time going to come. We have just heard this devotee, the god brother of Rishi Kumar Prabhu. It's just, he's around 50 years old and just suddenly died. No reason, never sick, just died. So the time for everybody comes to die. So the Bharat Maharaj's time has come. And what was he thinking of? What was he meditating on? A deer. And then it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam Tyajanti Antikalevaram Tamavaiti Konte Satada Bhavavitaha. That whatever my mind is at the time of death, this mind subtle body will bring me to the next body in this material world. So he thought about the deer. Where is my deer? Where is deer? Where is it? Where is it? And then he died in this moment, and he actually woke up, you can say, in the next body of a deer. This is the law of karma. So it is very important what are we meditating during our lives. Therefore the Hare Krishna devotees are chanting Hare Krishna, and at the last moment automatically will come, oh, Hare Krishna. Like Dhruva Maharaj also in the Bhagavatam. It is described When Dhruva Maharaj was so absorbed in service to Krishna, when death came, he said, oh, okay, you're dead, okay, good. And Vimana, the vehicle for Vaikuntha came to pick him up because he was very advanced. And he said, oh, Death, can you stand here? Because he was small, Dhruva. Can you stand here that I can climb up to the Vimana, you know? So he would consider death as nothing. But for people who don't have this meditation, the death will carry us to the next life. If you're meditating, you know, on our beautiful wife, we'll become a beautiful woman next life. Or we meditate whatever, we have a meditation on, you know, man, I've meditated on my husband, and we become that man. Or if you meditate on a dog, you know, people have many dogs nowadays, so they become also dog next life. Imagine suddenly you wake up and you think, oh my God, I'm a dog, I really messed it up this time. So this is what happened to Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj woke up in the body of a deer and he thought, oh, what have I done? By the grace of his previous spiritual